As I was saying earlier on, for after the run, the warm down stuff, some stretching is a good idea, just as part of getting the muscles and your body down to a level where it adapts. It's ready to adapt to the exercise which you've just done. It becomes even more important when you've been doing something which has been taxing you a bit. So the intervals, the faster stuff, as I mentioned, running some hills, or just trying to go. So if you go to do 45 minutes again next week, but you want to see if you can get another 100 metres or a bit further, you're going to have to push yourself to do that. Now, when the muscles are really sort of taxed and put under some extra strain, then they do react to that, obviously, and there's always that potential that they can tighten up and shorten up, and that just leads to some stiffness for the next few days, which you have to work that much harder to sort of get through for the next time you go out for a bit of a run. So some static stretching while you're still warm is a good idea. If you've been going really hard, probably not straight away while you're still puffing and panting and so on. Give yourself a couple of minutes maybe just to catch your breath, have a quick drink, but make sure that you don't jump in the car, drive home, get out of the car, and 35 minutes later you decide I'm going to do some stretching. I mean, you'll still get some benefit, but you'll miss out on a lot of the potential benefit if you don't do it within 5 or 10 minutes. So the static stretching stuff you do as a stretch and hold. It might be worthwhile just to partner up with someone for some of these. So and it's just the major muscle groups which you've just used. So we'll be looking at quads, hamstrings, calf muscles primarily. So we'll just do calves for a start. So you can put one or both feet back if you trust your partner. Straighten the back knee. Okay, so if you straighten the back knee, you'll feel a stretch higher up in the calf muscle, and we'll just hold that. How long to stretch for is always a bit of a question, but usually about sort of 20 to 30 seconds is a sort of a happy average. Shouldn't be painful, you shouldn't be reacting against it, but you should feel as though there's some tension there. Switch over. Make sure the knee is straight, and then you push the heel down to the ground, and if you're not feeling much of a stretch, then you bring your hips down a little bit lower and you should feel it in the back calf. So there's two main muscles in the calf. The one we're doing at the moment is the longer one. If you keep that foot where it is and keep the heel on the ground, but then just let your knee bend, you might feel it now a stretch lower down, or if you're reasonably flexible, you might actually feel it blocking at your ankle. Okay, so we're still focusing on the back leg, the ankle's bending, the knee's bending, and the stretch will go away from the top part of the calf and may go down a little bit lower. Okay, switch over, focus on the back leg again, keep the heel down but let the knee bend slightly, and try to get the knee to go down and the stretch will go away from the top of the calf to maybe lower down. Hold that. Okay. Quadriceps in the front of the thigh. There's actually, quad means four, there's actually 4 separate parts of the muscle. The one which is the most commonly reacts to the exercise that you do with running is the longer one of the two, which goes above your hip to below your knee. So to stretch that one, first of all, balance on your partner, grab hold of your foot if you can, bring your heel up towards your buttock, and that gets 3 of the 4 muscles, but the one we get by extending the hip back a little bit. And as you move your leg back, try not to move your hips, you'll feel quite a strong stretch down the middle of the front of the thigh, and we'll just hold that one. If you've got dicky knees and your knees are a bit stiff, sometimes it's a bit harder to get a stretch in the muscle, but it just means that you have to extend the hip back a little bit further and you should be able to go. Is everyone feeling that? Okay, switch over to the other leg. Heel up towards your bottom first and then move your thigh back. Okay, so hamstrings, they're the muscles in the back of the thigh, they're the other, one of the last 2 sort of major muscle groups that we need to have a look at. It's not too damp, so I'll probably get you to sit down now. lots of different ways to stretch your hamstrings. It's best probably to look after your back to only do one at a time. And the hamstrings attach from below your knee to going above your hip. So if we just focus on one leg, let your foot relax, keep yourself reasonably upright, and then just bring yourself forward, and you should start to feel a stretch in the back of your thigh. Now if you try to touch your toes and bend your back well forward, you will probably eventually still get a hamstring stretch, but you're also putting probably a bit more pressure on your back than you need to. If you grab hold of your calf or your lower leg or just below your knee and help pull yourself forward but keep your back straight, you'll fairly easily get a hamstring stretch there. Just hold that. And I always suggest probably just doing one at a time rather than two, because you can put a bit more stretch in the back. So switch over. In the leg you're not stretching, doesn't matter, it's just out of the way. Up nice and tall, grab hold below your knee and then just pull yourself forward slightly. Very good, and then probably the last one is the gluteal muscles. Quite a complex area, there's lots of different muscles in there and you'll never get them all in one simple stretch. So there's lots of different ways of doing it, I'm sure you've all seen. There's like butterfly stretches which get your groin as well, and they stretch some of the deeper buttock muscles. That's one you can do. Another one is to put one foot on the outside of the other leg, and then either put your hand or your elbow there and then twist yourself around. So you get a little bit of back stretch and you'll feel it in your buttock as well. That's a good one, particularly for the buttocks. Like that one. Depending on how bent up your knee is and how much you rotate, will decide on how much of a stretch you get. Switch over, put the foot on the outside of the other knee, elbow or hand on the outside of your knee, and then twist, and pull your knee across. Okay, a similar one is to just grab hold of the knee and pull it up towards your chest and bring it across. That will get it there. There's others where you can get yourself in like a hurdle stretch, and then depending on how you rotate one way or another, you can get some stretches. So, look, a lot of you will have done sort of different stretches, you know, at the gym or involved with some of the other sports activities. Some people have particular muscles which seem to always get tight. So your stretching regime can be really individual, and where there's a sort of a routine warm-up before you go for a run, which is good for everybody, when it comes to the warm-down stuff, quite often people work on specific or very particular muscle groups or stretches which they know that they always need to sort of put some effort into so they don't have some tightness